Good evening, everyone. It's Karel here tonight. So in tonight's webinar, I will show you exactly how to trade short term on share tracking, as this is something new we built in. So first of all, I just need to sign in quickly. So I'm going to use my email address. And I'm going to insert my password there. Okay. So first of all, we will note that we have a trader dashboard here. If we click on the trader dashboard, it looks exactly like your investment dashboard. The only thing is, this is your short-term dashboard. Okay. As you note, I already have an account here with the name CFD. So CFD is a contract for difference. In other words, we only pay a fraction of the actual price. And as you can note here, I already made 666 Rand since last week. So first of all, this is a new thing that we built in, so we must go and create an account. Now my account is already full, so I'm going to log into my colleague's portfolio. Okay, I must just refresh here. Okay, we're just quickly waiting for it to open up. So I'm going to sign in with Rudy's credentials. Okay. So to open up an account, we would go to Accounts, Manage Accounts. You would note there's a trader account there. So this one also has a maximum reached. Okay. So in this block here, we would note that it's going to ask us for the account type. We select the trader account. It's going to ask you for the account's name and the amount, which is always 100,000. Let's delete this trader account here. Then we should be able. Yeah. Okay, still not. So then we can just work it from there on. And then you would have your trading account. So in the previous sessions, we did show you exactly how to analyze shares. So you can fall back on those webinars. It would be underneath your education webinars, your live webinar archive. So I am in at analysis, stocks. Now I'm going to use my additional advisor. In your additional advisor, we usually insert a long. And then we just wait for it to load. Depending on your internet connection, this can go quite fast or it can take its time. And we insert a stochastic. Okay, we just wait for everything to insert. It doesn't look like everything wants to insert now. Oh, okay. And then I'm going to use my share filter. So you would choose your share. I'm going to use KIO as an example. I click on the share, scroll down, I go to my chart IQ to view my graphs. I'll touch a bit on the charting as well. So when trading short term, you would look for a bit of fluctuation. In other words, when a share is low, we want to see good profit out of that share. Okay, because we are trading short term, you would only keep that share for, let's say, a day or maybe at the longest a week before getting rid of that share. Now, if I look here, that's more or less an ideal buying point. And if we look at today's data, that indicates a sell. The reason for that being is, if you look at your RSI and your stochastic, you would note that on the right hand side, your stochastic has a 20 and an 80 line, and your RSI has a 20 and an 80 line. So how that works is, your 0 to 20 area, that is the area where you want to buy, because at that time that share is at its lowest point. Your 20 to 80 area, which is this area here and there, that is your holding area. That is where that share actually makes its movement. And then your 80 to 100 area, which is that area there, and on your stochastic, that area there, that is your selling area, because at that point that share is at its highest point. So if we bought there and we sold today, we would have made a good profit. Okay, this won't be a share to buy right now, or you can if you want to do a short. So when trading a CFD, there's two ways you can go. You can either buy in and wait for the share to grow, or you can buy in at a high point, opening a short position. In other words, you are saying that this share is going to drop. And if you are correct with both ways, then on that way you would make your money. So let's have a look here at another share. So I'm going to use, all of these shares are quite high at the moment. You see, this share is also already busy dropping at today's date, the data. Let's look at this one, maybe. Okay, this one at least shows some positive movement. It does show currently that it's dropping. And if you look at today's data, it sort of wants to tell you that it's going to grow. And especially if you're trading CFDs, you would rather wait for the second day to see that it's positive before buying in, just to get a confirmation if the share is busy going up or if it's only today that it went up a bit. So let's use TCP then as an example. I'm going to close my charting here, and then I'm going to say buy shares. Now we created an account and we also named the account. So my account's name is CFD. So I'm going to click CFD. It gives me the share code, the company name, the current price, the date that we want to buy, the money I still have left in the account to spend is my max you can afford to buy, Number of shares to trade. How many shares do I want to buy? Let's say I want to buy 1,000 shares, for example. It gives me a comment. So there we insert our normal comment. Even though this share isn't at its ideal buying point, for this webinar's purpose, I'm going to put in the right comment. So I would say that my RSI, so I would say that my RSI and stock shows buy. And I would also say that this share is in a bull trend. Now it's asking me for leverage. It's set it to a default of 20, but 20 is way too high. In other words, your leverage would be your gearing ratio, as it's known with the banks. So how that works is, let's say for every 1,000 rand you put in, they would make it, if it's 20, they would make it 20,000. If it's 7, they would make it 7,000. So for every 1,000 you put in, they give you 7 in return. It's like diluting something. It tells you, if you want to make euros, for example, it tells you it's a 1-to-4 dilution. This is the same. Okay, it's a 1-to. Usually, I would say your best bet would be to go on 6 or 7, because that's where most of your shares lie. So let me put in a leverage of 6. I click outside the box, it updates automatically. My margin also updates as my leverage updates. The margin we don't have to stress too much about. That just tells you more or less the percentage that you pay of the total amount. So margin required, that is the actual amount that you need. So because we only pay a fraction of the price, okay, remember our ratio is 1-to-6. We pay the 1 and they give us 6 in return. Okay, so we pay 3,666 rand and 67 cents. And then they make it 22,000 rand straight for us to trade with. You would then make your losses and gains on the 22,000 rand. Yes, you heard me correctly. Losses and gains. In other words, if this share starts dropping, let's say, and it drops more than the money we put in, they would take the difference from your account. If you make a profit, you would get your margin back as well as the profit you made. Now, again, we have the long position and the short position. And like I said earlier, you can trade on an upward trend or a downward trend. So, in other words, a long position would be your normal buying. Buy in low, wait for the share to go up and then sell. Your short position is when you buy high, wait for the share to drop, and then you sell it. And you make money on both if you open the position correctly. That's why when trading CFDs, your graphs is very important, because you need to make sure you open up the correct position so that you don't lose money. Now, let's say I'm just, for argument's sake, I'm going to open a long position. So I say open long position, successfully open position, TCP, and I say close. because this position has been open. Now, if I want to see how this share is performing, I go to dashboard, trader dashboard. And now I would see that I'm starting at a 0. Okay. You pay a bit of brokerage, but you make it up very quickly. So I'm starting at the 0%. And now we can wait and see what happens tomorrow, whether this share is going to go up or go down, and wait for the profit to rise. Now I've held on a week. Yesterday I stood with Impala, I stood on 1,000 Rand, but I kept Impala open to show you how to sell a share tonight. So now I want to sell Impala. I go to action. I go close position. It already inserts the number I've bought. I must just supply my reason. So now I would say made profit. And then I would say close position. Position success closed. And now Impala is gone. And my 666 Rand is in my portfolio. Now I want to set up a stop loss. That's the last thing. I would go action. And then I would go set target value, stop loss. TV stands for target value. SL stands for stop loss. I click on that. This one is quite simple to understand. And then it tells you here, set up of SMS notifications not allowed for CFD's account. Now I say, okay, I want a target value of 4%, or let's say 8%, and a stop loss of, let's say, 5%. And then I would say update values, client preferences updated. So this should then close it for you. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on what I just explained? So the one question I got was, does it close for you automatically on the stop loss? Like I said, it should close it automatically for you. I haven't tested out the stop loss yet, so I can't give you a concrete answer on that. You guys saw my mail address at the start. You can just the person who asked me this can just send me a mail to Karel, Karel at sharetrackin.com, and just ask me that question, and I will just go and make certain for you. The next question I had was to go back to opening the account. So myself, I can't open the account because, as we saw, my accounts are full. So Let me try someone else's profile. So we go to accounts, manage accounts. Okay, this is also the maximum amount of accounts reached. Okay, but if you go to accounts, manage accounts, it will tell you here that maximum number of account. It will tell you create an account. Then it's going to ask you for the account type. You select a trader account. You give the account a name. So my account, I called it CFDs. And your amount that you want to start with would always be 100,000. And you select the day. So if I open the account right now, I would select today's date. If I open the account tomorrow, I would select tomorrow's date. You select the date and you say create, and it creates the account for you. Okay. I hope that helps. So the next question I got was, where can I see the comments that was saved when this share was bought or sold? If I want to see my comments, I would go to accounts, financials, and I would select the account there and go to transactions. Now, as you can see here, there's the comment. Okay, it's not the ideal comment, but there is comments. Let me just show you my comments. Financials. Yeah, and then you would just select your account here to see your what you said, why you bought this share. If I go there, there's my full comment. If I stand on it, it will give you the full comment. RSI and stock to and koop bull trend. Okay, so this comment was Afrikaans. The previous one should be English. RSI and stock shows buy bull trend. Okay. When I sell a share, that was my comment. Stop loss reached. Okay. So as you can see, it doesn't matter whether you are a English speaking person, you can put in an English comment, or whether you are an Afrikaans speaking person and you want to insert an Afrikaans comment, you are more than welcome. Okay. Any other questions? So to the 3 people that already asked questions, I hope that you've been answered and it helps. The rest, if you still have questions, you are more than welcome to send them in. For those of you that want to leave the webinar, you are more than welcome to do that. And you guys must have a lovely evening to those who want to leave the webinar now. I'm going to still be here to answer the rest of the questions.